KHOU 11 starts right now with a breaking news alert.
Thanks for being with us this afternoon. I'm Cheryl Mercedes. We begin this afternoon with breaking news out of Bacliff, where firefighters have been working for over 14 hours to put out a massive fire at a decommissioned power plant. The Texas City Fire Department says it started around 2:30 this morning at the old P.H. Robinson power plant on Highway 146 near 29th Street and Avenue J. Air 11 capturing this video around 1 o'clock this afternoon. You can still see the heavy smoke rising as firefighters work to control the fire. One building collapsed, revealing the extent of the damage there. And a viewer sent us this shot from the Bacliff area where you can see several plumes of dark smoke rising in the distance there. And these photos from Alvin and Kemah firefighters show the smoke up close. It was so thick, authorities called for a temporary shelter in place for residents in San Leon as a precaution. Tonight we have team coverage for you. Troy Kless is on the scene with the latest updates while Pat Kaplan is in the studio tracking the air quality. Let's first go to Troy Kless for the newest developments in the field. Hi, Troy.
Hi, Cheryl. We are in one of the neighborhoods that is just north of where the fire is taking place, and although the sun's going down, you can still might be able to see behind me. It looks a little hazy right now in this neighborhood. That's all the smoke that is drifting into the neighborhood, and you can still smell, the fire that is likely to smolder for several days. And, this is where, obviously there's several homes, but, still we've seen some people out and about this evening, although many inside at the moment. Now, we did get some new information. According to the Texas City Emergency Management Team, the fire itself at the power plant has weakened tremendously since this morning, but they say that the site is likely to smolder for the next several days. And we've been driving around the area for the past hour, and we've seen hazmat teams in the area, and they say they will be on the scene for cleanup and continuous monitoring. This morning, my colleague Michelle Choi spoke to a resident concerned with the conditions that could elevate a fire risk that we're experiencing right now.
There's a lot of vegetation all around here, and their houses, if it would go further into the, if the wind was blowing this way, there'd be a lot of concern. Yeah. And under these dry conditions that we've had.
And the cause of the fire is unknown right now, and there were no injuries reported. The decommissioned plant did not have any electrical or gas connections, and 5 of the structures on the site were impacted. And back out here live as it winds down for this evening, you can still see those are some of the clouds of smoke behind me, still, again, not quite as intense as we saw earlier this morning when the fire was going on, but obviously still a concern for residents, which we'll be hearing from tonight at 10. And we did also reach out to the property owners, and we're hoping to hear from them by then as well. For now, reporting live, Troy Kless, KHOU 11 News.
Yeah, Troy, you can definitely see that haze still in the different distance in that neighborhood. As we mentioned earlier, a temporary shelter in place was in effect for nearby residents. And about an hour ago, we reached out to the Texas City Fire Department to see if that's been lifted, but we have not heard back yet. When we do, we'll let you know. But in the meanwhile, if you're ever in a situation like this, here are the steps you should take and keep in mind to keep you and your family safe. First, get inside and shut and lock all doors and windows. Turn off your fans, AC, and any system that pulls air from outside. Make sure your fireplace damper is closed. That stops the heavy smoke from seeping into your home. Also, move to a room without windows if you can, and use towels or sheets to seal any gaps. And finally, it's important to stay informed. Keep your phone handy for alerts and avoid going outside until officials give that all clear. Let's turn now to meteorologist Pat Kaplan. Pat, are the winds out there helping the crews contain the fire or making it worse?
I would say neither. I mean, we're not really seeing it exacerbate the situation. So there's the good news. The winds really aren't doing a lot to help. I mean, we're not seeing anything significant. I will say the one thing that the wind was doing earlier today that was helping residents of the area is the direction of it was coming in from the south and southwest, and that was blowing a lot of the smoke out over Galveston Bay. So that's where the wind was helping. In terms of the firefight, though, the only news that I can share with you is that it wasn't exacerbating or making the situation worse. So there's the good news. Winds have been fairly light today, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. More good news, air quality is not an issue in this area. Even as we get in for a really close look here on a street level, notice air quality is in the good category, so it's actually as good as things can get right now. Even though that haze is in the air, there may be a couple pockets where if you have respiratory issues, you want to be inside. But all in all, there are nothing that really jumps out at us on this map in terms of something that could be a serious problem. What is a serious problem is the drought situation across the area, and this of course ties in. Obviously this wasn't a wildfire, but the firefighters did a great job getting a handle on this situation before it was able to spread to neighboring homes and even communities, which really would not be that big of a feat with moderate to even severe drought conditions spreading across a good portion of the area. It's a moderate drought right now down through Bacliff, but again, I mean, we're pretty much on the doorstep of being in severe drought conditions for a lot of the area. So that's something we're gonna have to keep a very close eye on as we get into the really the next few days. Now here's a loop of this. You can see the fire right there. And all of the green, I know it's moving fast, but the green that's moving out over Galveston Bay, that was the smoke for hours and hours and hours this morning. Now, eventually we saw it kind of push inland as the bay breeze got going. That's what brought some of that smoke into the neighborhoods. And that's what you just saw there with Troy Kless, that haze that was in the neighborhoods. That's a result of the wind switch this afternoon. So for a good part of the morning when the smoke was at its worst, it was moving over Galveston Bay. And then through the afternoon, as the fire started to wind down, thankfully, that's when some of those smokier conditions started to move over the neighborhoods. But again, air quality in this area, not an issue at the moment. All right, weather-wise for the rest of us, we're looking great right now. I mean, there's not a drop of rain in sight, which of course we could use with the drought situation, but it was a great Sunday across the area. We made it to the record high temperature today. 86 was the new record now in the books. The old record was 85. That goes back to 1948. So 86 was the official high temperature today at Intercontinental just before 4 o'clock this afternoon. Our normals this time of year, 72 for a high temperature. We won't get close to that again for another week. In fact, mid-80s really stay put all the way through Thursday, and we will see a couple more records either tied or broken in that stretch before some cooler weather finally arrives as we get to the end of the week and next weekend. 81 right now, the sun is down. With a dew point of 66, feels a couple degrees warmer, more like 83. We are a bit muggy again through the overnight with some patchy fog possible. As we get you into Monday, mainly sunny again. We could run a couple records in some spots. And that's just pretty much going to be the case here as we go through the next few days. Very warm conditions, a mix of sunshine and clouds, and no rain in sight, at least through the middle part of the week. And again, humidity is going to be up there, at least in the getting humid category, close to the tropical category at times here, all the way through Thursday and Friday. But then there are changes on the way as we get to next weekend, and that'll be coupled with some rain chances. So again, we'll start the week dry. Monday and Tuesday, no rain in sight. Maybe a stray shower chance Wednesday, but better rain chances do come in. And it looks like it's not going to be just for one day anymore. It looks like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday could feature a decent chance of something across the area. So maybe going to break our string of no rain days here across Southeast Texas. And it comes from a cold front that'll be arriving again by the end of the week. Details are still up in the air regarding where the heaviest rain falls, and really beyond Thursday, the models kind of diverge in what they want to do. Some models keep us in a wetter pattern. Other models kind of just move this through and then we clear things out. I'm more in the camp of I think we stay a little unsettled getting into the start of the weekend. But that's one part of the equation. The other part will be the potential maybe for some strong storms. I do think there will be a severe weather threat the end of this week across Texas. Exactly where that sets up, though, we don't have the answer to that, so I don't want to alarm anyone yet, but it is on our radar as we go through the rest of the week. Here's some good news, though. Getting into Thanksgiving week, obviously nothing we want to see for the holiday, but again, we need the rain, and the bullseye for wetter than normal conditions is now over the state for Thanksgiving week. So again, this is kind of why I'm leaning towards us maybe being a more of that active pattern. I think things start to kind of pick up for us as we get into not this week, but next week. So I think by the end of this week, that'll be kind of the start of this pattern change. Overnight though, warm, muggy, some patchy fog, a lot of upper 60s and low 70s across the area. Tomorrow then, mix of sun and clouds, more muggy, temperatures close to records in a few spots. I think we'll stay just below the record high for tomorrow though. 84 in the city, 86 Katy, upper 70s down towards Galveston. All right, there's that 7-day forecast. So again, we're dry to start the week. Monday, Tuesday, mix of sun and clouds, temperatures flirting with records. I think we'll at least tie or break a record for Tuesday and Wednesday. Then by Thursday, showers and storms arrive, especially by the afternoon and the evening. Those could linger into Friday morning, and then we could see a resurgence of rain activity as we get into Saturday. So again, I'm not really confident that this just kind of sweeps through the area. So a bit of an unsettled end to the upcoming week. It does look like, though, behind this, once we do finally clear things out, Cheryl, temperatures will take a drop down to the low 70s by next Sunday. Until then, though, very warm coming up.
All right. Thanks so much, Pat. New here at 5:30, former Texans player Chris Boyd is in the hospital tonight after being shot outside of a New York restaurant. Police say Boyd, now a cornerback with the Jets, was hit in the stomach after a late night dispute turned violent just after 2 o'clock this morning. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. No arrests have been made, but the NYPD says the investigation continues. We have an update this afternoon on a story we brought you yesterday about residents in Rice Military fed up with commercial trucks taking over their street. Thanks to a viewer reaching out to KHOU 11, pushing for solutions, those trucks are now gone. Orko Manna has the latest from that neighborhood.
Less than 24 hours after KHOU 11 first started pushing for solutions for this neighborhood in the Rice Military area of Houston, we're seeing a lot of progress. You remember we showed you a line of commercial box trucks parked here along the Katy Freeway Service Road near TC Chester Boulevard, and now those box trucks are gone. The resident who first reached out to us about this issue that he says the community has been dealing with for around 6 months contacted me again today to show me that all of the box trucks have left after our reporting. And you'll remember what it looked like out here just on Saturday with about 5 or 6 box trucks parked along this street facing the wrong way on this one-way street. Residents say that sometimes there are upwards of 10 box trucks here at a time, unloading and loading what appear to be furniture. Their big concern has always been safety for the community, parking access on the street for residents, and trash pickup services being blocked. Now residents say they're thankful some action was taken.
So I think you coming out and the KHOU team coming out and doing their story had a positive impact, because here we are today 24 hours later and the trucks are gone.
And it's got to be a relief.
It is a relief. It is very exciting. I think all of our neighbors are excited about it, though, that we have a sense of peace back in our home, and hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah, that's the big hope, that those box trucks will stay away from this street here. Reporting from the Rice Military area of Houston, I'm Orko Manna with KHOU 11 News.
As you said, that story happened after a tip from a viewer came into the KHOU 11 newsroom. If you have a problem in your neighborhood that needs a solution, tell us about it. Call the KHOU 11 Your Voice tip line. That number is 713-521-4310. Leave your name, number, address, and what the issue is, and we'll see if we can help. Right now, Houston police need your help tracking down a suspect accused of stealing a backhoe and leaving a motorcyclist dead in a hit and run. The crash happened just after 1 this morning in the southbound lanes of Highway 249 near the Greens Road entrance ramp. Police say the motorcyclist slammed into the back of a backhoe believed to have been stolen from a nearby construction site. The rider died there at the scene. Investigators say the driver ditched that heavy equipment in the grassy area and took off. If you know anything, call Crime Stoppers. Tonight, 3 people were hurt, including 2 police officers, after they were involved in a crash while responding to a call. It happened around 11 o'clock last night on South Gessner near South Braeswood. Police say a driver turning left into an apartment complex was hit by the HPD unit, sending that patrol car through the gate and into the side of the building. 2 officers and the other driver were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. HPD tells us the officers were not using their emergency lights and sirens when the crash happened. Well, Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and high grocery prices could make your holiday meal a little more expensive this year. The prices of some key staples are up, and for many families already struggling to put food on the table, that's a real challenge. Jen Sullivan explains why your Thanksgiving menu is likely to cost more this year.
Outside the King Center in Atlanta, long lines of cars as people wait for free food to be handed out at this Thanksgiving food drive.
This is going to make a tremendous difference.
Miss Williams works part-time, but she says it's not enough to put food on her table. And it's not just Thanksgiving she worries about.
It's every day. It's tonight. I need dinner for tonight.
Her story is like so many others as the cost of food continues to rise.
We've seen an increased need. We've seen seniors coming that need assistance. We've seen families.
The government shutdown put a strain on already busy food banks, with millions of food stamp recipients not receiving assistance through the federally funded Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program known as SNAP, and hundreds of thousands of federal workers not getting paid. But rising food costs are making groceries more expensive for everyone.
But for many families, they're still struggling to put food on their table and keep that roof over their heads.
Average grocery prices are up nearly 3% from last September, according to the latest Consumer Price Index report. Prices for key Thanksgiving staples like potatoes, meats, fresh vegetables, and bakery products are all up. And tariffs have caused the price of many imported items like wine to jump. One wine store says prices are 5 to 12% higher this year. There is some good news. On Friday, President Donald Trump signed an executive order that retroactively lowered tariffs on beef, tomatoes, coffee, and bananas, as well as other products coming from agricultural imports. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
There is some relief for Texans tonight who need help putting food on the table after the government shutdown. Texas Health and Human Services says full SNAP benefits started going out on Friday, and every recipient should see money on their card by tomorrow. The USDA directed states to move fast to make sure those benefits went out as soon as possible. But keep in mind, it could take time for the funds to fully appear on everyone's card. So if you still need help right now, the Houston Food Bank is continuing to step up for families in need. Just text the word food to 713-526-1111, and we'll send you a link to KHOU.com with a full list of special distribution events and how you can register for them. Taking a look at some of today's other top stories. In just the last hour, CBS News reports civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson is on life support following his hospital admission last week. Sources say Jackson is steadily weakening and has been on medication to keep his blood pressure stable, but doctors are trying to wean him. He was recently diagnosed with progressive supranuclear palsy, a rare neurodegenerative disorder similar to Parkinson's, which he had publicly shared after he was diagnosed in 2017. Sources say family members are flying to Chicago to be by his side at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. Hourly workers at Walgreens won't be getting paid vacation time for several holidays, including Thanksgiving and Christmas. The news comes after Sycamore Partners took over the company a month ago and laid off about 80 corporate employees. Last year, Walgreens closed 1,200 underperforming stores across the country. Walgreens has not commented on these changes. And Google is making its largest investment in any state in Texas. $40 billion to build 3 new data centers in West Texas and in the Panhandle. Governor Greg Abbott and Google made the announcement Friday in Midlothian near Dallas, where another data center is up and running. Governor Abbott says the investment will create hundreds of jobs, and support workforce training programs for engineers, electricians, and other skilled workers. Now, this is part of Google's Investing in America effort. And for the first time ever, astronomers have spotted a giant explosion from a star beyond our solar system. The blast came from a red dwarf star 130 light years away, and scientists say it was tens of thousands of times stronger than anything our sun can produce. And now researchers are racing to figure out how often these cosmic explosions happen and what it could mean for planets across the galaxy. It was a perfect day to go outside and run for a good cause or do anything really, but check this out. Dozens laced up their shoes at Rice Stadium for this year's Longevity Breathe Deep Walk, raising awareness about lung cancer screening and the importance of early detection. The event drew hundreds of Houstonians and included a health fair with local experts and medical folks featuring doctors from MD Anderson, Houston Methodist, and Memorial Hermann. Participants also had a chance to learn how screenings can save lives and connect with local health resources. All right, Pat, like I said, it doesn't matter what you did. Gosh, it was beautiful out there, huh?
It was good. Hot for something like that, though.
It was, but when I woke up first thing this morning,
it was nice.
But I was in Dallas, so a little bit cooler there. A little cooler there, right?
Less humid, right?
Right, less humid, a lot. Yeah, I can tell.
The humidity is going to build the next few days. You know, we really need it to build in some rain chances.
Yeah.
I think we'll get there by the end of the week. There's that 7-day one more time in case you missed it. We're dry to start, so Monday, Tuesday, no rain chances, maybe a stray shower Wednesday, and then I think we get a couple of opportunities for rain Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and boy, do we need it. I went on a walk today. Ugh. The lawns are brown. I mean, it is. The grass is really dry. So we really do need the rain. We need to put a lid on this drought situation from getting any worse. This is not going to be a drought erasing rain, but if we can at least slow the progress, that's a good benefit. Temperatures, though, will turn cooler, I think, by the end of next weekend, getting into Thanksgiving week, with highs getting back to closer to where we should be this time of year, in the low 70s.
Yeah, we need the cooler temps too to start decorating for Christmas,
yes.
right? All right, thanks so much for joining us here at 5:30. We'll have more for you coming up a little later tonight on TV. Join us at 10:30. See you then.